Hello everyone, today's story will make your heart race. Danger is closing in on LYTUNA and little Henry, two fragile souls caught in an unseen storm. A stranger's shadow, a whispered threat in the dark, and fear slowly fills what once felt like a peaceful home. Can Alex, the man racing against time, truly protect them? Is his love strong enough to overcome the secret plot waiting to unfold? LYTUNA has decided to call the police, but she has no idea that this decision will trigger a chain of events beyond her imagination. And after all of it, if they can escape the danger, will Alex be able to give LYTUNA and Henry a new beginning? A safe home where happiness finally has a name. Stay tuned for when love becomes a battle between light and darkness. Don't look away, because the truth behind it all is only just beginning. The rain kept pouring each drop, hammering hard against the car roof, sinking with the pounding in Alex's chest. He sped down the muddy road, cold wind slapping his face water, splashing across the windshield. In his hand was the last message from LYTUNA. "I'm so scared." Just 5 words, but they crushed him inside. When he pulled up at the gate of the farm, Alex jumped out his shoes, sinking into the mud. He pushed open the creaking wooden gate, the dim yellow light from the porch flickering through the rain. Under the awning, LYTUNA sat curled up on a chair, pale and shaken. Henry slept in her arms, his tiny hands clutching the edge of her shirt. Alex rushed over, his voice tight. "LYTUNA, are you okay? What happened?" She looked up, eyes red and wet tears mixing with the rain on her face. Her voice trembled. Did I do something wrong? Why is this happening to us?" Alex knelt in front of her, his cold, wet hands gently resting on her shoulders. "No, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm here now. Tell me what happened. What's going on with you and Henry?" LYTUNA's lips quivered as she tried to speak. Finally, she hugged Henry tighter and whispered, "There was a stranger. They came here. They stood outside the window and said, 'If I don't leave you, Henry will be in danger.' I don't know who they are. I only heard the voice, then saw a shadow disappear into the rain. I was so scared. I couldn't even open the door." Her tears soaked into his shoulder. Alex clenched his fists, a chill spreading through his whole body. His mind raced. Who would do this, and why target LYTUNA and their child? He stood up, pulled out his phone, and spoke with a steady but strained voice. "This is Alex. I need to report a threat. A woman and her child have been harassed by an unknown person. I need officers at the Camellia Hill farm immediately. This could involve trespassing and a threat to life." After hanging up, he sat beside her again. The rain hadn't stopped, but all he could focus on now was the fear in her eyes and his promise to keep her safe. He took her hand gently, his voice calm but firm. "I won't let anyone hurt you or Henry. I swear." LYTUNA nodded slightly, her lips pressed tight, tears still streaming down her face. Outside, police sirens echoed through the rain, red and blue lights flashing against the damp walls. Alex held her hand tighter, his breath slowing, but his eyes burning with determination. That night, as the storm raged on, one thought consumed him. He would protect them no matter what it takes. The next morning, the rain had finally stopped. Pale sunlight slipped through the leaves, glinting off Tuna's messy hair. In the dark circles under her eyes, she hadn't slept all night. Alex stood quietly on the porch phone, still in hand, staring out at the drenched fields. The police had left, but inside him, the real storm hadn't passed. He turned and said softly, "Pack a few things. I'll take you and Henry home. It's safer there." Tuna hesitated. "But what about the farm? I'll have someone watch it. What matters most right now is you and our son." His voice was steady, but there was a deep worry hidden underneath. As the car rolled away from the farm, the wet road shimmered like a mirror, reflecting all their sad memories. Henry slept peacefully in his mother's arms, while Alex drove in silence, eyes flicking to the rearview mirror from time to time, as if afraid someone might be following them. By the time they reached the gates of his mother's villa, the sky was clearing. Mrs. Min was trimming her orchids when she saw Alex carrying Henry and Tuna, walking slowly behind her face, pale but polite, with a tired smile. She looked surprised. "Alex, why are you back so early?" Alex replied quietly, "Tuna and Henry were in danger at the farm." Mrs. Min's expression shifted, a flicker of concern crossed her eyes. But when Henry smiled faintly in Tuna's arms, her face softened. "Stay here. You'll be safe in this house. No one will dare hurt you." Tuna bowed her head gratefully, though her eyes still showed traces of fear. She knew what happened last night wasn't just a threat. It was the beginning of something far darker. That afternoon, after making sure Tuna and Henry were settled, Alex left the house. He drove into the city and stopped at a small cafe downtown. The late sunlight hit the fogged glass windows, casting reflections of the woman already waiting inside Mai. She smiled when he walked in, her voice sweet but sharp. "You came, Alex. Been busy taking care of someone else lately." Alex sat down, his gaze firm. "Mai, I just need to know one thing. Were you the one who sent people to the farm to scare Tuna?" Mai tilted her head slightly, a faint smirk on her lips. "Do you really think I'd waste my time like that? Or maybe she told you some tragic little story to win your sympathy." Alex's fists tightened under the table, his voice low but cutting. "I'm not joking, Mai. They threatened her and the child." Mai leaned forward, resting her chin on her hand, her eyes cold as steel. "Alex, have you forgotten I'm not the only one who knows the truth about you and her? There are people out there who don't want you to be happy." Her words sent a chill down his spine. In her eyes, Alex saw not just bitterness, but something deeper, a secret she wasn't ready to reveal. He stared at her for a long moment, then stood up. "If I find out you had anything to do with this, I won't forgive you." Mai didn't answer. She just smiled faintly, her voice soft but haunting. "Go ahead and look for the truth, Alex. But remember, sometimes the one behind it all is the person you'd least expect." As he walked out of the cafe, Alex felt his head spinning. Mai's words cut into his mind like a thin blade of doubt. Driving through the crowded streets, the red glow of sunset spread across the windshield, and for the first time he wondered, was Mai really behind all of this? Or was there another hand pulling the strings from the shadows? Evening settled in, and the last streaks of sunlight lingered over the road leading to the villa. Alex drove slowly, a small, neatly wrapped bag resting in his hand, a gift he had carefully chosen all afternoon. Inside was a tiger's eye bracelet, simple yet warm in its glow. The seller had said it would bring peace and good fortune to whoever wore it. Alex believed that after everything LYTUNA had been through, she could use a little of both. When he opened the front door, the faint scent of ginger tea filled the air. Soft laughter drifted from the living room. Henry was lying quietly in Mrs. Min's arms, his tiny hands waving in rhythm with her gentle humming. The sight eased something inside Alex. For the first time in days, the tension and doubt that had weighed on him began to fade. LYTUNA stepped out from the kitchen, her hair tied neatly back. The warm light touched her tired but gentle face. She smiled when she saw him. "You're home. You look exhausted. Is something wrong?" Alex smiled softly, shaking his head, his voice low and tender. "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to bring you a little peace today." He opened the bag and took out a small box. When he lifted the lid, the bracelet caught the light and shimmered faintly. "They say this brings good luck. I just want you to be safe, no matter what happens." LYTUNA froze for a moment, her eyes glistening as she looked down at the small gift in her hands. Her voice trembled warm and full of emotion. "I don't need luck. As long as you're here, that's enough." Alex smiled gently and placed his hand on her shoulder. In that quiet moment, all the fear seemed to melt away, leaving only the warmth of two people who had been through the storm, yet somehow found their way back to each other.
Trong tập trước, Đệ đã ngỏ lời khuyên Huyền và Maya trở về quê sớm hơn gia đình anh. Tôi rất hy vọng ngày hôm nay sẽ nói cho biết